At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
3 Israeli citizens, Liran Yaakovov, Natanel Aviv and Rahum, have been convicted for stealing properties belonging to victims of the October 7, 2023 massacre when groups of Hamas fighters invaded the Nova Music Festival near Kibbutz Be'eri, barely 5 kilometers away from Gaza, with over 4,400 fun seekers at the music party, and killed more than 360 persons at the music festival, which led to the state of Israel waging wars in Hamas-controlled Gaza, Hezbollah-controlled Lebanon, Iran under Ayatollah Khamenei Supreme Leadership, and recently in Houthis-controlled Yemen. According to Israeli-based media, Unet News, nearly 2 years after the October 7th massacre, prosecutors asked the Be'er Magistrates Court to impose prison sentences ranging from 3.5 to 5 years and order compensation for victims on 3 Israelis, Liran Yaakovov, Natanel Aviv and Rahum, convicted of stealing property from the Nova Music Festival massacre site. The defendants roamed among bodies and burned cars, grabbing whatever they could, prosecutor Tehla Needham said during Monday's sentencing arguments. She noted that some stolen items belonged to innocent civilians who fled for their lives or were murdered during the attack, adding, "They desecrated the dignity of the murdered, with bodies still lying in the area. Their actions violate the most basic societal norms." The prosecution also requested a fine of 80,000 shekels, $21,000, for the defendants. Anyone seeking to rob helpless citizens will not only lose out but pay double, Needham said. The defense disputed her claims, interrupting to argue that the accusation of looting near bodies wasn't in the indictment, saying they were near bodies or burned corpses, when it's not in the charges, is an attempt to mislead the court, a defense attorney contended, adding that the proposed punishment was disproportionate. The act was disgraceful, but not severe enough to justify such a penalty, the defense said. Judge Shosh Shrid responded, "It's well known there were bodies there, even on October 8th. Make your arguments in turn." She added that the trio's actions were planned, dismissing claims of them being foolish or childish. The verdict is expected by late September. It would be recalled that the Times of Israel reported on November 17, 2023 that police said that they had arrested 5 individuals suspected of stealing the sound equipment from a man murdered at the Supernova Music Festival in southern Israel, where over 260 were massacred by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. The equipment, worth some 2 million new Israeli shekels, NIS, $530,000, was found in the homes of the suspects and then returned to Matan Lior's father. The suspects, named as Ram Shaheen, Yasser Matni, Daniel Hassan, Adam Abu Rukan and Son Tevel, were arrested in Karlansor, Hasfiya and Daliat al-Carmel. They are believed to have arrived at the scene of the massacre near Kibbutz Rahum after the violence died down, taking advantage of the chaos to make away with the expensive equipment that soundman Lior, 35, had brought to the party. Police said that an indictment with flights at McAllen International Airport on Monday early morning were delayed for several hours as 27-year-old gunman, Louis Mosqueda, ambushed and shot at the United States, U.S. Border Police Patrol agents in Texas, injuring 2 police officers and a Border Patrol employee, which, the suspect was later shot dead at the entrance of the U.S. Border Patrol Federal Building. This occurred less than 48 hours when, on Saturday, a North Texas police officer was ambushed at a DHS facility and shot in the neck by 8 men in body armor, these incidents happened amid nationwide rise in threats to immigration and custom enforcement, I.C.E. personnel and Border Patrol agents over President Donald Trump Immigrants' deportation policy. Local media reported that the federal agents returned fire at the suspect, identified as Ryan Louis Mosqueda, who was armed with a rifle and wearing a utility vest. Mosqueda was killed at the scene, McAllen Police Chief Victor Rodriguez said. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, in a statement on its X social media handle, stated that, this morning an individual opened fire at the entrance of the United States Border Patrol Sector Annex in McAllen, Texas. Both Border Patrol agents and local police helped neutralize the shooter. 2 officers and a Border Patrol employee were injured, including one shot in the knee. All 3 have gone to the hospital. This is an ongoing investigation led by the FBI. While blaming politicians for the continuous attacks on security operatives, the U.S. Homeland Security Department said, this administration is not playing games with the lives and safety of our I.C.E. officers. I.C.E. law enforcement is facing a 700% increase in assaults against them due to rhetoric from politicians like Mayor Bass. Secretary Noem's message is clear: if you lay a hand on a law enforcement officer, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The suspect never made it inside the building but fired many rounds at the building, Rodriguez said. Mosqueda has a Michigan address and arrived in a car with additional weapons and ammunition inside, the police added. McAllen police responded to the scene shortly before 6 a.m., where the shooter attacked the federal building with an assault rifle at about 5:45 a.m., according to local media and residents. Local media added that Ismael Garcia, a 10-year veteran with the McAllen police who responded to the scene, was struck in the knee during the shootout and is in recovery, quoting Chief Rodriguez, who said it during a news conference. 3 officers sustained gunshots injuries from inside the building as bullets shattered the windows, sending shards of glass flying, according to local media. Incidents like these make us realize that we've to always be on guard to keep our community safe, Rodriguez said, adding that the officers and a Border Patrol employee who were injured, including the officer who was shot in the knee, are expected to recover. It was gathered that law enforcement officers at the scene found additional assault weapons and ammunition in the vehicle, and spray-painted writing was found on the side of the vehicle. Police is yet to provide further details of the lettering and stated that it's unknown if it's connected to Imo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has given reasons why a suspected kidnapper, Abina Orji, who the police said his gang are responsible for series of kidnapping and armed robbery in Anambra, Delta and Rivers states, has not been charged to court since he was arrested, while condemning an ex-social media post published by an account holder named Fisayo Suyombo, who has raised alarm that the police arrested and detained Abina Orji, he described in the post as a businessman, for 8 months without charging him to court. In a swift reaction on Saturday, Imo State Police Command, in a statement issued and made available by the command spokesperson, Okoye Henry, narrated and listed the alleged crimes committed by the detained Abina Orji, saying, the kind of crimes Abina is allegedly involved in, are capital offenses that police has no right to grant his bail, and the delay in taking him to court is because the alleged crimes cut across multiple states which required more time for proper investigation. Fisayo Suyombo, who often introduces himself as an undercover investigator, had tweeted on X social media on Saturday with a photograph of the police officer in charge of the case and said, S.P. Ola, the officer in charge of the anti-kidnapping unit of the police in Imo, has been detaining Abina Orji, a 43-year-old businessman, for 8 straight months without charging him to court. S.P. Ola says nobody, not even the IGP, can compel him to act otherwise. And the police replied and said, the Imo State Police Command is aware of a recent misleading publication on the social media platform X, authored by Mr. Fisayo Suyombo, alleging the unlawful detention of one Mr. Abina Orji by the officer in charge of the anti-kidnapping unit, CSP Olademeji Odiyewa. To set the record straight, Mr. Abina Orji is a key suspect in multiple high-profile cases of kidnapping and armed robbery. He is an ex-convict previously remanded at the I.C.E Correctional Center, 2017-2019, over conspiracy and armed robbery charges. His most recent arrest was based on credible intelligence, linking him to a criminal syndicate involved in trafficking stolen vehicles acquired through violent crimes. Consequently, Abina Orji and his syndicate ran out of luck when they kidnapped Chief Ekena Okafor on the 15th of November 2024 and dispossessed him of his Toyota Highlander SUV, a gold necklace, and other valuables worth over 20 million nairas, after which a ransom of 10 million nairas was paid. Swift tactical operations by the anti-kidnapping unit led to the arrest of two suspects, Chidozie Chukwu and Uchenna Chukwu, whose confessions subsequently led to the arrest of Abina Orji, identified as a key figure in the kidnapping operation. During interrogation, Mr. Orji voluntarily confessed to receiving and selling vehicles obtained through armed robbery and kidnapping. His confessional statements significantly advanced ongoing investigations and led to the recovery of several stolen vehicles across Imo, Anambra, Delta, and Rivers states. These include a black Toyota Highlander, another Toyota Highlander with a Bonyi registration, a black Range Rover Sport, 4 minibuses, and a Toyota Camry.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.